And you never feel fear with this business on the edge, sweet Lisa? Do you describe to have this strength, or is it just a manifestation of Oh yeah, fear arises. I don't know if fear arises around the business side being on the edge, but fear can arise. That's part of being human. But as you see that that's not you, then it just passes through. It just passes. There's nothing there that owns it. In the past, the fear would come up, and then there'd be someone that owns it, and then the fear would get dragged into time for days. So, so business. So sometimes, yeah, there is fear around money. Not so much now, but when I really am out of money, like really, like in the past when I've just got no money. And I go to the bank to try and get some, and none comes out. The hole in the wall stops giving money. There can be moments of fear. And then it passes. And then still there's no money, and then there's no fear. So, yeah, it just comes up and goes. The seeker is always trying to avoid feeling and sensation and experience. It doesn't even want to hear that enlightenment can include fear. It doesn't want to hear that. It only includes bliss. Do we decide to have this strength, or is this just a manifestation of manifestations of coincidence? Nobody decides anything. There is no us inside the body that decides a thing. But decisions happen, and I find that what tends to happen in people as they're awakening is they begin to step away from this false entity and all its lies that you have to work 7 days a week, you have to have a career, you have to be successful to be loved, you have to have a certain amount of money to be loved. All these things begin to collapse, so there's more just an innocent acting, and I call that acting from your heart. And so when I say follow your heart, it's a bit of a con really, because there's no one to follow your heart, but as you begin to crumble, then that's what happens. And when you have those fears come up, and you can feel the seeking energy trying to get away from them, just rest the personal attention in the fear and the discomfort, knowing that that's a functioning of the body-mind mechanism and not really a separate entity that's doing that. But just allow that fear to come in. It's only a sensation. It will pass. I think, Michelle, that you have you're a business owner as well. From the videos you sent me, I get the sense that you own your own business. So you know what it's like when you suddenly realise that, which is most probably going to happen to me soon, that 2 countries want taxes from me, and then I'll get refund from the taxes in like a year's time. But in the current moment, 2 countries want the taxes, and then it will get refunded, and they want a year in advance as well. And then suddenly you're like, oops, this is why we don't live on the edge in business. You'll suddenly see me with my little begging bowl on YouTube. I'll just have a little bowl like, I need tax money, because I'm moving to France. So if people don't know, like I'm in between, and so often they overlap, and then both countries want taxes in advance, even if you're moving to a different country. So I'm sure you understand what's going to more than likely happen to little Lisa soon. But oh well, I'm sure I'll find a way to deal with that when it comes. Life is all about taking risks. If you don't take a risk, you will always just say, I could have done this and could have done that. So I understand about taking risks myself. I feel it's good to branch out and try things that work yourself. No, it's not about taking risks. That wasn't what I was saying. You misunderstood. I was saying follow your heart. Now maybe you see that as risky. And yeah, that does mean you have to risk everything to an extent, but my point wasn't to take risks. My point was to follow your heart. And maybe in a couple of 100 years' time, that will just be the way it is in society. And so it won't be risky at all. But at the moment, we live in a society that's like, no, you have to be like this. You have to do that. But I certainly wasn't making my point is in take risks. My point was follow your heart. Knowing that there's no you to follow the heart, there only is the heart. So really what I'm saying is come back to yourself, which is this.